Alright guys, Kremp again today. I hope you're all doing well and enjoying your Christmas day so far, but it's not all Christmas cheer in the CDL because aBeZy is convinced that certain players may be straight up cheating using certain mechanics and devices to gain a competitive advantage. He reckons the CDL has got to shut this out because he apparently trusts 0 players in the league to uphold their own competitive integrity. Is aBeZy right to be skeptical about various players potentially using things untoward, or is he just finding excuses for FaZe's poor start to the season? Very much interested to your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I'm recording this Christmas Eve. Christmas is like the only day of the year that I actually take off. So yeah, I hope you all have a great day anyway. And this is Merry Kremp to you all here. And I thought, I don't know why exactly this video was put together here from Kremp, but I thought it was pretty sensational. So yeah, I played this in the intro. I might throw it at the end of the video as well because it's pretty entertaining, I think, to say the very least. Just to see Kremp in a full Santa suit running around was pretty spectacular. But speaking of things pretty spectacular, this video as well, with Kremp featuring in it, has been a big talking point as well. I'm sure we'll talk about it more in tomorrow's video, but just the idea of this being a thing, right, where we have this inner circle podcast with some of the OG OpTic members. Formal, by the way, is loving life in this podcast, it seems, which may be just a little bit telling, because there, of course, are rumours that Formal has been trying to form a bit of a god squad in Halo in recent times, and, well, we believe he may have been successful in accomplishing the Renegade, Bound, and Legends OpTic team alongside himself. So, yeah, Formal seems like he's having a good time. The theory would, of course, be that maybe he got the team that he wanted in the Halo world. But, yeah, just look at this setup, right? Of course, Hex is there, Nadeshot is there, the only, I guess, like, former OpTic member in this kind of roundtable couch-style podcast. I'm sure very entertaining. But, look, Nadeshot's kind of still like honorary OpTic on some level, but of course he's got his own organization. Formal did leave briefly to Luminosity, then he came back. Same thing, of course, for Kremp for a couple of years. But yeah, getting all these guys together. If you'd have told me this was happening 18 months ago, 24 months ago, and I said, what are you talking about, right? Like getting the OpTic Dynasty podcast even happening was a question. Now Kremp back with the guys, obviously everyone back part of OpTic having a good time. Karma in the position he is now as a coach, of course, which kind of came out of nowhere at the time. And then, you know, Nadeshot living in the vicinity to actually run some of this stuff I thought was fantastic to see as well. One quick question for you all before we dive into some of the cheating stuff. These are some of the Rookie of the Years over the last few years. Now, I believe only 3 of these have been official Rookie of the Years. I think Pred was, Scrappy was, Gwinn, of course, was. But in the first 2 years at least, they didn't actually give out a Rookie of the Year. They did, however, give Shotzzy MVP of the 2020 season, and he was a rookie, so that's pretty evident. The second year, it was a bit of a toss-up between Standy and Insight in most people's expectations. I think you could probably argue either, but yeah, it is a question really, which player or which rookie was most valuable to his team. I think on the evidence of this, you probably gotta say Shotzzy, possibly Scrap, possibly Pred, but yeah, depending on your perspective, I'd probably say Shotzzy, all things considered. But let's talk about some of this cheating drama, because yeah, it is Christmas, but it doesn't mean that it's going away. Certainly from the CDL itself, right? Now, of course, we know cheating has been a thing for a very long time in cards, especially Jimbo, notably, teammate of Johnny, formerly, of course, when they were on that Paris Legion team together a couple of years ago. But a few days ago now, Looty comes out with his updated Gentleman's Agreements, kind of, well, Google Doc, basically. And it, of course, was noted in this Google Doc that there was no mention of auto tactical sprint or single tap to sprint or any of those settings in the game. That's because, it seems to me anyway, Looty just decided to mention the specific things that are not allowed, as in the weapons, the equipment and stuff like that instead. He doesn't mention, of course, some of the settings that either are allowed or are not allowed, depending on your perspective of the game. So we know that snaking is GA'd by the players, as has been, you know, stair glitching and stuff like that. Now, it's not, obviously every game is different, as some things are an important feature in certain games and not in others, and that's why you see these things sometimes carry over and sometimes not carry over. But the pros have tried to at least pretend publicly, you know, they care about upholding this stuff, they care about the competitive integrity, and to be fair, they did a pretty good job of it last year. Now, this time last year, roughly, 30th of November, 2023, they were all talking about banning snaking, single tap to sprint, and auto tactical sprint, and of course sound equalization, a big one, all GA'd. Now the players agreed not to do this, but of course it was only a few weeks later where there were rumours going around that there were potentially players actually using it. Now, we never really got a clear answer on this. The only answer that we did get was it was rumoured, of course, that Abuzah and the Seattle Surge guys were potentially using it, and, well, Scrappy, I think, was pretty clear in his belief that he thought Abuzah was using auto-tactical sprint. So, effectively, instead of having to double press your left stick to tac sprint forwards, you could either just simply move it forward with auto tactical sprint, or I imagine what most of the pros would probably want to use today would be single tap to sprint. But the pros have basically decided that there's more skill to it with a double tap, so that's what they use. That's at least what they're meant to use. And you can debate the merits of this discussion, whether actually you don't think it makes much difference to the skill level, whether you'd prefer it to be easier, because then, you know, what most like casual players tend to play with might be more replicated by the pros. And then also Abuzah, or, you know, let's say guys like Shotzzy and HyDra maybe get even better at the game, even more fun to watch or whatever. But look, sure, I understand their perspective. Obviously, after Abuzah was called out over this, he was then taking the piss out of people who were praying on his downfall or whatever. But this is at the end of January. We were there in Boston, and Ace was saying that, yeah, Seattle did get blacklisted from scrims over, at least partially, over this Abuzah ATS stuff. So, you know, whether they were using it or not, it's still a question that we don't really know the answer to, but what we do know is there were repercussions held as a result. Now, aBeZy reckons maybe more repercussions need to come their way, or certainly the way of certain pros, because aBeZy says that he believes there are people in the league that are using some of these settings to gain a competitive advantage. Now, it's difficult to say for sure, but of course, lots of the players, they watch other players' POVs, they watch kill cams when they play them in scrims, and they wonder, is that guy using a setting which isn't allowed? Now, there's no way for the players to tell whether somebody is using a setting that isn't allowed. Online, nobody really cares. The CDL is not going to step in and have a look at these things. Sound equalization, the CDL apparently does disable on LAN, but online they're like, you know, you do you guys. And to be honest, the CDL doesn't make a ruling on auto tactical sprint or single tap to sprint or whatever. Of course, now with the Omni movement, there's also like sprint assist and all these other complicated things. The CDL could lock those settings, potentially. That's what aBeZy wants them to do. And maybe that's a discussion that the players, in an ideal world, have a committee to speak to the CDL about. The reality is, of course, though, the CDL doesn't even acknowledge there's an issue with any of this stuff. As far as they're concerned, use what you want. And the players are the ones who've decided between themselves that they would prefer to use double tap to tactical sprint, or whatever you want to say. And, of course, that puts a lot of the players in a pretty interesting position where they are trying to police themselves, but aBeZy is not convinced the players are actually policing themselves at all, and therefore aBeZy and many other pros find themselves in the position of, well, you know, if I'm convinced somebody else is doing it, and as aBeZy says, he doesn't trust anyone to actually uphold their integrity on this, then all of a sudden you feel incentivized to do it yourself. And this is usually how it goes. One player either turns it on or doesn't even have it on, but somebody thinks they do. And then all of a sudden somebody else is like, oh, well, screw it, they're using it. Guess we should use it as well. And then the whole league has stopped bothering with dealing with the gentleman's agreement. So this could be the start of that trend.
Like I said, Chris is asking in the chat. No one responds. So there's obviously everyone, like hella people using it. And then I spectate players or spectate other people in like scrims or whatever the case is. And it 100% looks like they're using like either ATS or single tap. And it's like, why would I just put myself at a disadvantage if other people are using it? It's just so stupid. So it's literally such bullshit, bro. If it's something that the CDL can't lock in the settings, then why is it getting, if you can't actually monitor it and tell if someone's using it, especially since sprint assist is allowed, you can't use ATS, but you can just use sprint assist. If that's allowed, it makes it even harder to tell if someone's on like single tap or whatever the case is. So it's like, what? If the CDL can't lock it on our CDL accounts, then I just don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how you even regulate that or like know if someone's actually using it. If I'm being completely real, I don't trust a soul in this league. to like use shit, to actually like not use a setting that they're not supposed to. I don't trust a single soul.
So I totally understand where aBeZy is coming from. I guess some people understandably though will say, hey, FaZe not started the year very well, started 1-3, won a series against Falcons, congratulations, lost a map to them anyway, one of only the two the Falcons have won so far this season, and the only respawn that Falcons have won was against FaZe in the 4 series that they played so far. And in the other series, of course, that FaZe have played, it's not like they've been great either. They looked okay against Thieves, but against Ravens, they got 3-0 slammed out of the server. We'd never tend to see that. So is aBeZy right that some people might be using this stuff? Sure, I wouldn't be massively surprised if he is. I think it's definitely possible that there is some cheese going on behind the scenes of the league right now. Is it possible that FaZe are also thinking, oh, well, you know, we're losing because of this, we're losing because of that? Maybe that's also true. Maybe that's inevitable, given the way that the league currently sits. But very much interested your thoughts in the comment section below, because, yeah, drama is everywhere right now in the competitive Call of Duty world. Just before we close out the video here, I did want to go through just a little game for you guys on the Breaking Point sites, just because I used to do this, you guys, some of you guys might remember this, way back in the day. We're talking Black Ops 4 season 2019. I would do the occasional like Kahoot game live stream on the channel, bit of trivia, bit of like guess the logo or whatever. And I'm pretty sure those VODs are all still up there from way back in the day. But yeah, just thought a little Christmas special edition here, because Lion Man put these on the website, 2 truths, 1 lie, COD edition. So we'll go through it, we'll see if I know ball. And, you know, I think the first one should be kind of clear. Now, Maven coaching Unite Gaming, I kind of forgot this happened, but I'm pretty sure that it did. HyDra winning over 17 LAN tournaments before turning 18 is a crazy number, but I think it's something like that. And the third one I know isn't true, because if you guys can guess who the youngest player actually to win champs is, it's Attach, who was 18 years, 2 months old. Simp was a bit older because it was at the end of the year, whereas, of course, Attach played it when it was back in March. So I think that's the answer to the first one. The second one, yes, Scump's father, an ex-MLB professional. Scump fans will know that to be true. Crimson batted 4th when he played baseball and was known as Porthouse. I think that's true. I'm not actually 100% sure. And, okay, Zuma was on. It wasn't Arsenal, it was Chelsea's academy. So that, I guess, is the false one here. And, okay, J-Camp was the first person to win champs as a player and a coach. I don't think that's true, because he won it in 2022 as a coach. And Crowder, right? Crowder won it as a player in 2015 and then coach in 2021. So I guess that's the answer. New York Pizza Rats, we know, was a rumor. And yeah, this Halo 4 event, I think I've heard something about that before. It's pretty obscure trivia. Like, I'm not really clear on all of these things, but I think that's the answer anyway. And okay, Envoy banned for cheating in Black Ops 3 for keyboarding, of course. We know that's true. Octane was a YouTube sniper before he competed. I think that's true as well. He went to a LAN with a friend or something way back in the day. And Zero got his name. I think this is not true, but got his name after an 0-10 SD tournament, still won. I don't think that's true. I think he, like, I don't know where he got it from actually, Trey, but I don't think that's the answer. So I'm going to go with that one. And what is this? Okay, Merc has a dog named Maven. That would be very, I don't know if that's true. It's something like that is true. I know that Maven talks a lot about his dog. I don't know if that's true, though. I don't think that it is. And Zero is the most winningest ever Ravens player. So, which is funny. I think Gwinn needs another like 11 series wins to take the record from Trey as the most winning ever Ravens player for the organization, which is funny. Attach got his alias from his old Attach, or no attachment. I think that's true as well. So I'm going to say that Merc doesn't have a dog named Maven, and we're going to go from there. Okay, so I hit submit, and here we go. We did, we got it right on the day. So, you know, better challenge next time, Lion Man, please. But all good. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that a little bit in the comment section below. And this is, I guess, a very fitting way to close out the video. So very much interested in your thoughts on all of this stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Have a fantastic day, whether you're celebrating or not. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time.
Oh, crap. Merry Christmas. Do you have eggnog?
No, we don't have eggnog. Idiot.